Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today what I want to do is design some EDM DJ type lighting, do it here in the 3D visualizer, and then come back and talk about in a follow-up video kind of the programming layout side of working with this type of lighting as well. So let's dive in. Like I've done previously, I think I first did a series on church lighting just like this, and then one on band lighting where we, kind of laid and designed things out in the computer, then programmed them, showed you how I'd run a show. We're going to do the same thing here with EDM lighting. And what makes EDM or DJ type music and lighting a little bit unique is that, honestly, just like any other form of lighting, just like any other niche that you might be lighting in, there are a lot of decisions to be made between how much video do you do versus how much lighting, how do they integrate together. That happens a lot in this space. And there are also just a lot of different levels that people are going to be at, right? Like some people, they think about EDM, they're going to think about these huge, massive shows, right? Like the Ultra Music Festival, things like that, right? Others of you are like, hey, I'm setting up in the corner for a prom. And it's going to be different for both. In this video, I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the EDM style, but in a way that's approachable for anyone, okay? So that even if you're just lighting a smaller space or what have you, but you just want to get that kind of look where you have a lot of energy, you have a lot of choreographed, really awesome lighting in your space, but you don't know how to do it. So let's talk about it. So probably the first thing I want to do here, just thinking centrally, is I've got this DJ. I threw a table in here for you. I'm here in the Capture 3D visualizer, by the way. It's a great way if you do need to design things, mock things up for clients, pre-program. Capture is a great tool, and we sell a lot of them at Learn Stage Lighting Gear, so check that out. But links below as always. But the first thing I think I'm going to do is so just to give you a tour, just a little blank stage. I've put some trusses in here. You might not be in spaces big enough for trusses. That's totally fine. But what I want to do first, I think, is just bring in a small LED wall behind the DJ, because like when it comes to EDM type events, it's pretty rare to see one without an LED wall. Now, when we think about LED walls, and I'm just going to pull in some kind of 2.9 millimeter LED wall. We'll do an Absen. Of course, we really typically often do the DVS walls like the Visras. They're awesome. But I'm just going to bring in here an Absen wall, start stacking. I know there's a grid function, but I'm not using it. There we go. So I'm just going to pull that in and build this LED wall, probably ground supported off these truss towers, could be hanging off a truss, what have you, but regardless, they're all snapping together all good. And then I could just duplicate them on up. Nope, we only got 3 out of 4. Well, this is getting messy fast. I see what I did. They're just not like snapped together at all. And I know there's tools for this, but I am often a lazy designer. But regardless, I kind of want to start the video because A, that's kind of typically what goes right behind the DJ, and B, they've kind of become a pretty big part of most of these types of shows. So now we're going to go ahead and duplicate them up. And so maybe we're just talking, even just 8 double-sized panels, so 16 panels total. It's not a massive display, but when you think about bringing an impact to an event with lighting and AV, with video too as well, it doesn't always take a lot, right? This fills out the space behind the artist. It allows, if you have cameras, if people are looking at the artist, to be able to see those visuals, right? But not have them completely dominating the space. Okay, so we're just going to take that like any good LED wall, grab the whole thing there. I think I got something else in there, and turn the brightness way down because that's what you do with LED walls. Perfecto. I don't feel like putting any media on it now, but that will happen later. Perfect. What's next? Okay, so next we save, always save. And I want to kind of extend that video look out. And so one of my go-tos, especially for this kind of lighting, are fixtures with individual pixels, right? Because that allows you to get that motion, to get that video feel. So one of our go-tos is the Gamma Pixel Strip IP because, gosh, there's so many things we like about these lights. Namely, they come in at a great cost. They're really good quality. They are waterproof, though a lot of people that use them aren't using them that way. You know, you're able to just run your video across them through any program that can pixel map. And so I really like doing that. And, you know, with a central video wall like this, I can go ahead, and I know it's not entirely central, and it's not. Now it's being supported by the trusses. With most video walls, you would have some sort of clamp from the truss to the wall that would come with your ground support package or what have you. Multiple ways to do it. We won't go in the weeds here. So now we want to extend it out, right? How do you do that? Well, with something like these pixel strips, that's what I really love about them, because you could just take them and start to extend that space out. So say I went and just, in this case, just go too wide, right? And people can call out how bad I am at CAD drawing. Too wide with a gap between them like that. And then we just come up again. I should really just do it in this view. And the cool thing about a low resolution video product like these, you know, or a pixel mapped product, is with relatively few fixtures, you can actually cover a lot of space, because, you know, you can space them apart really far, and people are still going to see the impact of the video because it's playing on the LED wall, right? But then you're stretching it out with the rest of your rig, okay? And that's also why, for things like this, we like Onyx and we like the Dailos Pixel Mapper that's built in, because it allows you to use network video. So no matter what program you're sending it from, you can have it on your lights and on your LED wall, have it all match up. It looks great. And so now, to just extend this out a little further, I'm just going to grab 3 of those pixel bars, duplicate them, maybe do a set there. And I know some of you, if you're like at the lower end of this thing, you know, you might be like, hey, this is like way above anything I could purchase, and that's fine. But for other people who are doing larger EDM things or wanting to, you're like, hey, this really works, right? There's a lot to it. So that's going to extend our video out. We could do more vertically. There's lots of places we could do more, but at the moment, this works. This gives us a little bit of a canvas to work on, right? So now, how do we fill out the rest of our rig? Well, I would go ahead and get some sort of front light, whether it's something on stands in the front corners, like just a couple wash lights or pars. It could be a couple blinders in the front corners. Could be some moving heads that are just in the same spot all the time, okay? But when it comes to DJ and EDM lighting, it really is all about bringing the show into the audience. So what I think I'm gonna do is just grab a couple simple pars. So this space is pretty small, probably not more than, can I spell? We're probably not more than, I don't know, 15 feet in the air or something. In which case, I'm just going to grab 2 of these Gamma Starburst pars. We have always liked these, and get them just fairly close to the DJ. Point them at our friendly DJ. So if I turn them on here, I can point them at our friendly DJ. Perfecto. Dink. And we've got some basic light for that DJ, but we're not throwing a ton of light in the air all around the space. Now, what do we cover the rest of the space in? When it comes to DJ and EDM lighting, you really see dominating wash fixtures and beam fixtures, right? That's what dominates the space a lot. It's, things that wash the space, whether they be strobes, whether they be pars, things that just carry the light through the space, whether they be moving head washes. And then you have beam fixtures, which give you the breakups through the air, the gobos, etc., etc. Of course, on the bigger stage, you have spots too, which oftentimes are a little better than beam fixture in the sense that they can color mix instead of just do fixed color changes. But the biggest thing to do, I think, is, especially if you're building a space on a budget, building out a system on a budget, you don't have an unlimited amount of money like, everyone, is keep it really, really simple. I've got these pixel bars and they're a big part of our show. And let's just go ahead and start moving these around a little bit to extend the space. Okay. And then what I want to do, maybe I'll line this up with, I don't want to. And then what I'll do is start bringing in beam and wash fixtures. And like I said, keep it simple, because the thing that makes EDM shows kind of have that EDM look is because there's multiples of everything. Okay, there's lots of every fixture, and there's often very few fixture types considering how much is in the rig, and that allows it to look bigger when all these different fixtures of the same type all turn on at once. It's really what makes that work. So in this case, being that this is a smaller space, I'm kind of, there's a couple options I'm bouncing my head through, but I think in this case, I'm going to go with the Darts 360 by Elation, which at the point of this recording is an older fixture, but it's a really punchy color mixing beam fixture that does the job really well. It really punches through on large stages or small. And so what I'm going to do in this case is just start bringing them in here. Let's see if that'll hang the right way. Nope. So the darts is such a good fixture. And so I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to put some darts in a pattern here. So literally just match them all up there. Okay. And so I like to, when I pattern out lights, and this happens a lot in the industry, this is a pretty standard way of doing things, is to basically make diamonds with lights, right? So they're coming across, right? And then there's another one here, you know, same. If I had a center truss, I could make it a little more diamondy, but just literally just having things diagonally across. And so then I could come in with a wash fixture. In this case, let's do the Volux Sysma. The Sysma is an awesome, punchy, bright fixture for a wash. And take that, and we turn it around, pull it into place. Perfect. And having them diagonally like this, where they're like, it's like they're in a grid, but they're diagonally across from each other, means that you get a lot of different options when it comes to programming and playing them back, right? Because now you can go across this whole strip here and flash these on, just 1, 2, 3, 4, right? And then you can go to the next strip, and then, but you can also, instead of by strip, horizontally or vertically, you can go by fixture type, which then is in these cool zigzags. And so instead of going, a lot of times people will go and just do like a wash spot, wash spot, wash spot on each truss and kind of have them all be symmetrical. I like to offset them because I think it gives you a much cooler impression. And so I'm literally going to go then, and for the audience package, essentially do the same thing, is copy this whole thing, try not to stick anything good, and then we'll go ahead and go to the side, turn it, and put it up in the air, like we just don't care. One of them hits a truss. So this would be our audience package. It's a little skewed because, again, I didn't spend the time to make this perfect, perfectly spaced out. Then go ahead and maybe space them out a little further, right, over our audience. And of course, you know, being a DJ EDM type show, you know, the audience could go out further and further and further and further. Oftentimes they do, but you get the idea. Basically just space it out into the space, and then basically do the same thing with the video elements. So, you know, we have these gamma pixel strips. We like them a lot. And maybe we go and we say, okay, I'm just going to grab these, maybe do my diagonals again. And we'll go to, let's duplicate it quick. Turn them. Turn them so they're actually pointing straight down. And then people are going to look at this and be like, David, this is the sloppiest design work ever. But the point is it's conceptual, right? It's giving you the idea on how to do this and how quickly you can lay it out. And sure, if you're actually laying this out for a show, you want to be more exact. You want to make things space correct and evenly. You want to make them be spaced uniformly, all that jazz. But in this case, for some simple programming and demonstration, it's fine to be a little bit less critical in that regard. So then we go to the top. And yeah, maybe we use the pixel strips. A lot of times they go vertically into the audience, and that totally works and looks awesome. In this case, I'm going to put them horizontally. Why? Because I feel like doing something different. And so they could be face down. They could have a slight tilt toward the audience. There's a lot of ways you could do it. But we could just go ahead and basically space them out in this case. And it doesn't have to be this fixture. Between each set of movers. And so an element like these pixel strips that we use a lot in our shows can be something that runs along a truss straight the whole way. But it can also be something that you use just to create space, just to create more space between the rest of the rig so that you can space your other fixtures out a little bit more. It still looks like it fills the space, but it doesn't cost as much money. Right? I'm going to clean this up a little. Pretty simple lighting rig, but I think you're going to find when we get into it and we start using it, it really has the ability to have a lot of impact. So I'm going to, basically clean it up a little. I think I want to just put one more row of these fixtures in the backlight type position. Boom, like that. Clean it up a little, make it a little bit nicer, patch it all, do some basic programming or bring it into a file that I already have programmed, and show you guys how I would lay out and how I would start to program things in a console to be able to have really good on-the-fly control for this. So if you like this rig and you thought it was really cool, hey, guess what? We've got all this stuff at Learn Stage Lighting Gear. If you hated this rig and you think it's not cool at all, hey, we love to help people. At Learn Stage Lighting Gear, myself and the gear team, we are in the inbox every day. We take requests that come from the site. You can add things to your cart, request a quote from there, or just email us at gear@learnstagelighting.com. If you're looking to add lighting to a space and you want it to be well thought out and do a great job, that's what we do. We help you find the exact things you need and then bundle in the education that you need to be able to learn how to use it well, and then help you to get all of it all at personalized pricing. So if we can help you guys out with that, with lighting, with audio, with gaff tape, there's so many things we have, and we just love to help people and would love to be your preferred vendor, the place you go when you go to get anything lighting or AV. So if that sounds good, head over to LearnStageLightingGear.com. We would love to help, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks.